there. One pawn to e4, Magnus. He's played a few d4 games. Is he going to leave that on the board against Mr. Fridman? Now, he might do that. He does.
Petrov or not?
Going to stick with his French, which he played the other day.
And the Petrov is in the past, right? Because I always associate Fridman with the Petrov.
Indeed. No.
I think he taught me, you know, when he was coaching me a little bit back in the day. He was one of the people who, you know, who taught me the Petrov. This is the very start. But the French is the French now.
Ooh, the Tarrasch. One of my old favourites.
Didn't you do like an ancient series on that?
I did. Oh, yeah. You commented it! The idea of this compared to knight c3 is that after knight c3, black has got the move bishop b4, which pins the knight, and it's called, oops, that's a skew with, pins the knight, and it's called the Vinava variation. And the point is, after knight d2, of course, this move doesn't make any sense anymore, but you can block the pin with c3, and you've wasted a very important tempo. There are drawbacks, of course, having the knight on d2, you can't move your pieces out, and now, Fridman, this or the move knight f6 is the main move. And here, Magnus takes on d5, which is certainly one of the main moves, and Fridman takes back with the pawn, the other main line being queen takes d5, where things can get very sharp after white brings the knight out and then brings the bishop out very quickly, getting quick development. I've had a lot of positions like this with white, very interesting, but takes is a bit more solid. Magnus now gives a check on b5, knight c6, and throws in a check on e2. Now, that is interesting. Certainly not the main line.
You know what's a fun fact? You want a fun fact?
Cool.
No. There's this line that Carlsen played in Norway chess against Alireza. You can show. So it goes 1 e4.
I'm gonna just get this bar out of the way.
Yeah, I think you go to more. I'm like an expert of the zone. That's okay. Yeah. e4.
Yep.
c5.
Yep.
Knight f3, e6. And
by the way, this mouse is terrible, which is why.
Yeah. Bishop d3.
Yeah.
And now black can play d5.
Yes.
So the idea is that here you go e5, d5.
Yes.
Bishop d5 check. Or I don't know if that's the idea, but you can do that.
Yes.
And now, basically, okay, let's say knight c6 or something like that. d4.
Yes.
Now you have the same position, but with the knight still being on b1.
Ah.
Because you wasted the move on bishop d3 to b5 instead of going knight d2. So it's kind of funny that he played that system here, and now he's getting an extra tempo. So he's thrilled. He's like,
he's thrilled.
I was already happy, and now I'm having an extra move.
Okay, so queen e2 check. So you have to deal with this check somehow. And there are a few ways to block. Queen e7 must be a move, but
it was very natural. Yeah, I think that's probably the. I would suspect that queen e7 is like the old move, and the new move is like bishop e7, knight f6, castle, give that pawn.
Right.
I have a feeling that I have seen something like Yeah, this is also just winning. It's not one of those fortresses here. Definitely not. Yeah, the king f6 happened, king d5. I guess rook c8 will be played.
Now rook x4 looks logical.
Okay, now c6 actually wins. Rook d8, king c5, rook d4, king d4, king d7 only move, king c5, king d8 only move, king d6. But unlike that endgame we just looked at, I am able to both collect the pawn and come back, because the pawn on d6 was too far, but pawn on c6 is near enough. Now I'm coming back to defend it. So this is a neat, this is a nice direct line that he'll calculate now, which is very, very obvious for Carlsen. Yeah, it's a very straightforward line. It pushes, converting a one endgame, that is one skill that Carlsen has got under his.
Yeah. That's it. There's the 52 seconds. I think Daniel might find the resign. He might play king e7, rook b4 is also just a
I like this king c5 move. I like to cut off the king, you know.
king e7, king c5, yeah.
To have no miracles happen.
Of course. b4 probably does win.
I guess everything wins at that point, but it's more thematic.
Yeah, I like this. Anish is saying that this is a much more classical way because the rook cuts.
Nothing can happen go wrong here. I'm very curious as to what's happening also in the other games, particularly in Maxim there's a match.
Yeah, we had something similar to 6 and in the bishop to 9
4. Yeah, Fridman needs this resource. This whole king b3, c4, c5 business very accurate. Yeah, Ding is playing horribly, yeah. I mean, he's not taking the chances.
Yeah, now the difference is
it's all hard, but he's Ding.